The New York Islanders, they were 5th in the Metro with a 37-35-10 record, which is 84 points. 9th in the East and 20th in the league. Their head coach, Lane Lambert, that's a weird, Lane Lambert here, replaces Barry Trotz.
Wild.
I loved Barry Trotz. We talked about how much I hated this.
I can't believe they got rid of him. Like, it wasn't his fault that the team underperformed, I don't think, personally.
No, not at all. So they lost Austin Sharnick to the Detroit Red Wings. They signed Noah Dobson, which is 3-year re-sign. And then they also signed Alexander Romanov from the Canadiens for 3 years. The only notable UFA that they have is Zdeno Chara, who had 2 goals and 12 assists last season. I think this is it. I think Zdeno Chara is going to be hanging him up unless for some reason another team is just like, we'll give you another go. They traded for their trades. The Islanders traded their 2022 first-round pick to the Montreal Canadiens in exchange for the 2022 fourth-round pick and Alexander Romanov. Islanders' 22 fourth-round pick was defenseman Isaiah George of the London Knights in the OHL. Again, we talked about the Islanders before, and it's just a team where they are set. They don't really need to do many moves.
Let's run it back.
Yeah.
Let's run it back.
This is my team this year, I'm telling you.
Coming
Dude,
back?
The same squad as last year. This team is so solid on paper. Like, I can't point out a weak spot as a forward, personally. I don't think there is one. And on defense, I mean, they have Pelech and Pulak as their second line. Like,
Yeah.
I think they're going to be really good this year. I think Varlamov might kind of suck, but other than that, I think they're going to be really good this year.
Man, we're rooting for New York Islanders 2 years ago.
Yeah, and last year, and then they shit the bed.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I think this is the year for them. This is like the team, the guys to get it done. I don't really understand the shakeup in Barry Trotz. Like, keeping him for another year would have been nice, I think, to see him, get a real opportunity with this team, the way it's set up. But,
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the forwards here. Look at the names here. Not the Josh Bailey that's going to be with us later on, but Josh Bailey, Matthew Bazzell, Anthony Beauvillier, Casey Cizikas, Cal Clutterbuck, Anders Lee, Matt Martin, Brock Nelson, Jean-Gabriel Pajot, Kyle Palmieri, Zach Parise, Oliver Wahlstrom. That's their forwards. How many names are like high-end names that you know of, Just like big names.
I just don't think that there's a weak spot on that top 12.
Nope.
Like, all 12 of those guys.
Yeah. See, the interesting thing for me is, I agree. There are a lot of names but if I consider, let's say a Johnny Gaudreau, who we're going to talk about, as like an A player, but Barzal to me is maybe a B plus, but a lot of these guys are like B players, and so I question whether or not they're going to have the goal scoring production. I wonder, and this has kind of been their problem in the playoffs, is they try to win games like 1-1, 2-1, or we used to always say with Chloe Gilly, they try to win a game 0-0.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they're going to struggle a bit because they have that extra punch. I mean, I think they were rumored on being in on Kadri for a while, and I think that would have been that would have put him over the top in many ways. But
I also think that Kadri's one of those guys that, like, as good as he is, he's still not the A. He's the guy that goes with someone else.
That's true. Yeah.
But it's funny that you pointed out Barzal as being like the B plus guy when he's the second line center. Like,
right.
That's so weird. You're right. There isn't like the star power. It's kind of like the Carolina Hurricanes of a couple of years ago that like didn't really have the star power, the name, the presence. It's just like everybody does their job so well that like they think they don't need that guy. But who knows?
Kadri's that Nick Backstrom to the Ovechkin.
Right.
The peanut butter to the jelly.
Yeah.
He's that guy.
Cereal to the milk.
For defensemen, they have Noah Dobson, who had 13 goals and 38 assists, which was second most on the team and career high since coming into the league with the Islanders in 2019. Scott Mayfield, Adam Pelech, who had 25 assists, which is a career high last season, Ryan Pulak, Alexander Romanov, and Robin Salo. Robin Salo is kind of back and forth between the Bridgeport Islanders and the Islanders last year, but he's coming into his second NHL season. Noah Dobson getting it done. The more you're going to see this, the more we talk about this, the more you realize these defensemen are becoming very offensive defensemen. Like, we're getting to another era of defensemen where they score, they play make, they get these assists, they get these goals. It's a lot. You're going to see like these old guys, like Zdeno Chara is just not used to it, who's got like 3 goals in like 3 seasons,
The guys like, the older guys like Chara that are getting replaced by these new defensemen, it's almost like the defensemen are as good as the forwards because of how shifty and how like confident they are with their puck skills and their edge work. They can be the last guy back on the blue line on the offensive side and just deke a forward out because like they know that they can do it. And it's crazy to me that they're doing that because in men's league, in any league, if like the coach sees them doing that 9 times out of 10, they're like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're the last guy back. You turn that puck over, that's like a breakaway, you know?
Yeah.
But these guys are so confident in their abilities that is the new standard in the NHL. You need to be able to work like that on the blue line. It's nuts.
Right. And to top it all off with their goalies here, you got Sorokin and Varlamov. Ilya Sorokin here, 2.40 GAA, which is 4th best in the league, and .925 save percentage, which was 2nd best in the league. 7 shutouts also, which is 2nd most in the league. So you have like that back end too. It's Ilya Sorokin getting the job done, as well as like the entire team just in general.
Yeah.
The Islanders are looking good.
The thing with Sorokin, too, is he put up those numbers despite the team having a losing record last year.
That's nuts.
That tells you a lot. And shutouts, too.
Yeah.
I know the team had a really good, if I remember right, they had a really good end to the season.
Yeah.
They could, there were times when you were like, are they going to make a push for a wild card spot? Are they going to be able to climb up? But it didn't end up happening. But
Right.
yeah, Sorokin could be a big key in the cog for them. Someone that, keeps them competitive in a division where, there's going to be a lot of, potential scoring with some of the teams they're going to play a lot of. The teams we've already talked about to this point.